Hello, loves. It's Kat here from Self Unity. For today's readings, we are going to be creating pick a card readings with messages of guidance from the fairies. So, in honor of Earth Day this week, I am planning to create some beautiful, powerful messages of guidance that are connected to elements of the earth. So we are starting with the fairies, and then I'm also going to be creating some readings that are connected to the different elements of the earth. And then of course we will also get some messages of guidance from Gaia later on in the week as well. So this is just an ode to Earth Day. Of course, over here at Self Unity, we believe that every day is Earth Day, and it's very important to take time each day to just give a moment of gratitude, of love, reflection to the earth, because earth provides everything for us and to us, and we are also a part of earth. We come from nature, and it is to nature that we will return to. So it's very important that we make sure to take time each day just again to reflect in gratitude and honor of the earth and all that it provides and gives us each and every single day. So bless the earth, bless. All right, loves. So for today's reading, we are going to be pulling pick a card piles. I'm going to do 4 piles here today, and we're going to actually pull the card piles on camera. I usually don't do this. I usually have them like kind of pre-drawn out, but today I felt called to draw the cards for each of the piles on camera. However, if you want to skip this part, I will have timestamps in the description box down below for when you can go and pick your piles, and then of course a timestamp for when I begin each pile's reading as well. All right, but let's go ahead and get into it, and let's see what our pile choices are for today. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck a couple times, and then we will pull our pile selections today. So this deck here is the Healing with the Fairies Oracle. All right, so we have pile 1. Let's get pile 2. We have 2 cards there. Let's just get 1 for this part of the reading. All right, and pile 3. All right, and let's see what pile 4 is. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and see what each of our pile choices are now. So pile 1. Ooh, we have financial flow. We love to see that. Yes, pile 1, financial flow. And if you prefer to pick with a crystal, I was drawn to use this beautiful spirit quartz, or also known as fairy quartz. Sometimes people like to call this a fairy quartz crystal as well. So of course I had to bring it out for the fairy reading. All right, so pile 1, you have financial flow, or the spirit quartz or fairy quartz. All right, so pile 2. Oh, we have miracle healing. Yes, we're loving these cards today. Miracle healing. And if you like to choose with a crystal, I was drawn to use this Snowflake Obsidian. Snowflake Obsidian. And this was actually the only dark crystal that I was drawn to for the fairy piles today, which is interesting because we have this like bit of shadow behind the figure on the card there too. But okay, so pile 2, you have miracle healing and Snowflake Obsidian. Let's see what pile 3 is. Honoring your true feelings. Honoring your true feelings. Wow, I can't wait to show you the crystal I drew out for this pile because it matches. We have this beautiful purple. I believe this is called Charoite. I wasn't 100% sure, but I think it's called purple Charoite. Yeah, I was like asking Spirit, should I draw another crystal? I'm not 100% sure on the name, but this one really wanted to come out, and I love that I left it out because it matches this card perfectly. So that is beautiful. So pile 3, honor your true feelings, and we have the purple crystal there. All right, so let's see what our last pile is. Pile 4, moving forward fearlessly. Yes, moving forward fearlessly. And pile 4, if you like to select with a crystal, we have the flower agate. I had to bring some flower agate out when we were working with the fairy guides. because they love the flowers. Yes. All right, love. So pile 4, you have moving forward fearlessly and the flower agate. So those are our pile choices for today. So if you want to take a moment, you're not quite sure which pile is calling to you, I always invite you to take a moment to slow down, connect with your center, do a few deep breaths if you need to. Breathe in, let it out. Breathe in again, let it out. Until you feel connected to your center, to your intuition, and you can clearly hear which pile is calling out to you, or just feel a pull towards it. If that's not working for you, you can just choose whichever one kind of gets you excited, which one looks most appealing to you, or which one you just want to learn more about. All right, loves, and so I will put timestamps in the description box down below for you to be portaled directly to the beginning of your reading. And I'm going to start with pile 1, and then we'll just go consecutively, pile 2, 3, and 4. All right, love, so I'll see you in your reading. Hello, pile 1. Welcome into your reading, love. So for your reading, you chose the Financial Flow card, or the Fairy Quartz or Spirit Quartz crystal. I usually call it Spirit Quartz, but I know some people call it Fairy Quartz. And I just felt guided to bring it out because of that name that people use for it. And of course, this is a reading from the fairies, so we have to have some fairy quartz. All right, love, so we're just going to jump right in today. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards from the Healing with the Fairies Oracle deck, and then I'm going to pull your tarot cards later on from the Fairy Tarot cards. All right, so this is just to get an idea of what themes you're going to be working through, what messages of guidance the fairies want to share with us for your reading today. And there we go. We've got 2 cards there. So let's see what we've got. Ooh, we have Making New Friends. And then we have Problem Resolved. All right. All right, so what I'm getting here is you're definitely going to be making new connections that are going to be providing new opportunities of flow coming into your life. And even though this is financial flow, and some of you are probably seeking that financial flow, financial support, money increase, salary increase, Spirit is saying that this is also going to be resonant with other avenues of flow in your life. So where things have felt stuck in your life, things are going to start to open up as you start to branch out and start mingling with new people. New connections are forming here. Okay, so I'm getting very unique inflow messages here. Let's see where Spirit wants me to start with this, because it's like it's all intermingled, where it's like I'm seeing like you have, like you're looking at things as though there is a block in your life, and you're feeling that the block is a money block, it's a financial block. But Spirit's actually coming in and saying that the blocks that you're experiencing around your money and finances have nothing to do with money and finances. It's a lot deeper than that. And so what Spirit's saying here is that you really need to ask yourself, where are you creating blocks in other aspects of your life that are preventing this financial flow from coming into your life? So I'm also seeing like you're very hyper focused on this energy of a lack or not enough, or just wanting more when it comes to your money and finances. And this could also be significant to something that costs money, like, you know, maybe wanting to upgrade and buy a house, buy a new car, buy something new, or like invest in something. But you're really focused on the dollar amount, the value of the dollar. But Spirit's saying like this block has nothing to do with the money aspect. It's something else that you're not looking at and you're not willing to face that's actually creating that block. And so once you pull your focus away from trying to force this money to come in, or trying to see where you can receive more or elevate this financial flow in some way, it's going to naturally open up the floodgates for that to come in. And so one of the the places is going to be in your connections. Okay, so some of you may have some people in your life that are wanting to connect with you, but you're not making time to connect with them. Okay. There could also just be things that like you've been putting on the back burner that really need your time, care, and attention and love, that you haven't been, giving that to, such as yourself, your self-care needs. Also something at work too, like I'm seeing like, maybe I'm sort of seeing this example where it's like you just kind of show up at work just to get the job done, but you have all these people around you, like your coworkers, your boss, maybe even just people that you pass by that you don't work directly with, but you pass by them every single day. But instead of interacting with them, you kind of just keep your head down and keep to yourself. And so Spirit's saying to that, like, you don't really take advantage of the opportunities that are provided to you every single day through these possible interactions and connections that you could be making with the people around you and the environment that you're in. And so once you kind of lift your head up and you take a look around at where you're at in the present moment and within your immediate environment, you'll start to see that there are things around you that could actually, like they could benefit from your attention and your connection, and you can also benefit from like giving them your attention and connection, because you'll be getting something in return. You won't just be showing up to get the job done and then going home and then thinking of all the ways that you could be making more money. Or there's also this energy where you just go to work, get the job done, then you come home and you maybe go into like these spirals of complaining around how you have all these problems that having more money could solve, but you're just like so focused on that aspect and not really embracing what's actually happening for you in the present moment, when you're in that present moment and in those unique and different environments and around those possible connections that you could be making, that it prevents you from being able to see the abundance that is provided to you every single day in other ways than just having that financial flow come in. And so once you kind of pull your head out of yourself, okay, just from, just doing the things that you're feeling required to do, and you start to kind of step outside your comfort zone a little bit, your mental, emotional comfort zone blocks that you've put up, and you start saying hi to that person that you pass by every day, the person who works at the front desk, or maybe you see the mailman coming every day delivering mail, and you just say hi to them, ask them how their day is, start conversations with them. Things will start to flow a little bit better in all these other aspects of your life as well. Okay. All right, but let's go ahead and get some more guidance on this. Let's pull some tarot cards from the Fairy Tarot here. All right, so Spirit wants me to talk about the butterfly symbolism here. So you are going through a transformation here. And we also have that snake symbolism there. And this is the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac. So that could be significant to somebody. I'm seeing like you could be the year of the snake actually, or you could be either you personally are having a child that's going to be born under the year of the snake, or somebody in your family is going to be having a child born under the year of the snake this year. Okay, I apologize. There's like a really loud car outside right now, so you may be hearing that in my microphone. Hopefully they pass by soon. All right, let's see what your tarot cards are though. There's also a lot of blues on your cards here, which is going to be signifying our throat chakra there, and communication. Okay, so there is something that you're needing to communicate about, and for you, I'm feeling like it's nothing big. It's just this need to communicate more, to socialize with the people around you, and to get more connected with the environments that you're in, and just allowing yourself to be more present with where you're at, and to pull your focus away from the how, when, where, why. Okay, and just allow it to come in more naturally. All right, so we have for the Emperor, use logic and structure to increase your success, get organized, a firm but compassionate leader. All right, we also have 18, the Moon. Wow, we have 2 major arcana right away. Powerful, intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear, understanding the truth of a situation. Wow, powerful reading. Oh my goodness, 3 major arcanas. Wow. Pile 1. This is a powerful reading here. Unity. This is also the Hierophant in traditional tarot. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. Wow, okay, let's see what this last one is. Okay, I was like, wow, are we going to have a full major arcana here? But we do have a court card, which is still a very significant, very powerful reading here. King of Spring, innovative, inspiring, wise, and theatrical. A financial windfall. Wow, we have 2 cards mentioning finances here. Your leadership skills are needed now, and unexpected support of your cause. Yes. Okay, so some of you are wanting a promotion. And Spirit saying ask for it. If you are wanting a promotion and it has not been offered to you yet, or you know that there's a job opening that can provide you with a promotion or a salary increase, ask for it. You have 3 major arcanas, and every single one is the indigo blue color, which is representative again of our 3rd chakra here. And you have these 2 cards with the blue, and this card also has a lot of blue there. All right, you also have the 2 reds here, 2 reds, oranges, which is going to be sacral chakra energy here, which is creativity and sexuality, expression. Okay, you're needing to express yourself through your voice. What is it that you actually want? How can you ask for what you want? Why are you not asking for what you want? It's time to speak out loud about this. What do you want? Stop keeping it hidden within your mind, within your being, and get it out there. The Emperor doesn't sit on ideas waiting for people to make things happen for him. He takes control and he makes things happen for himself by speaking his truth, making a choice, speaking his truth, and then pursuing it with action-based evidence. Okay, and so you're really in that energy of needing to stop wondering about how these things are going to come to you and ask yourself how you're going to allow them to come to you through the decisions you make, the connections you make with other people, what you say to other people about what it is that you want, what it is that you're wanting to receive from them and from yourself, and then taking the action steps that you need to take in order to make it happen. Okay, so bring the focus back to the present moment and ask yourself, what can you do in this moment to get yourself one step closer to opening up the floodgates of that financial flow that you're wanting. Okay, and you already know what this is. You've already been thinking about it. So for some of you, this could be about putting in your 2 weeks notice, looking for new jobs, applying for new jobs, asking your boss for a raise, asking your boss for a promotion. You know, maybe somebody's getting ready to leave in a couple weeks and you're wanting to take over their position, but you need to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, they might go with an outside hire. They might ask your coworker that sits right next to you. That does way less work than you do, okay? You need to start speaking your truth and asking for what it is that you want. This is going to bring you so much peace, so much unity, and so much clarity. And again, it's going to take your focus off of the things that you're focusing on trying to receive, trying to manifest, trying to get more of, and just allow you to be present with, you know, what's actually happening in the present moment for you, which will naturally allow the financial flow to come in and the flow in other areas of your life to come in as well. Okay, loves. All right, let's see if anything else is coming through here, because your messages are so direct and straightforward here. So let's see if we can get anything else. Yeah, Spirit's just saying that you already know what it is that you want. You're just kind of like creating these distractions for yourself as a means to not go after it. And that's naturally creating the blocks around where you're not receiving it. So you already know what it is that you want. You already know what it is that you need to do, or what you need to say, what you need to ask. Now it's time to move into that energy of taking those steps, asking those questions, getting the ball rolling with it. Okay, loves. And when I say this too, like Spirit's also saying, like, you keep focusing on, like, we use this example a lot in readings where it's like climbing up the mountain, and so it's like you keep focusing on the very tippy top of the mountain and losing sight of like needing to take that first step. Even though you're not at that ground level taking that first step, it's like you're like maybe a quarter to halfway up the mountain, but you're still like, I'm so close, and you're like so hyper focused on being so close to that top, like to the top of the mountain, that you're forgetting where you're at right now. Like you're not quite there yet, and there's still steps that need to be taken in order for you to get there. But because you're so focused on like being so close, you're like, I'm so close, it's preventing you from receiving this flow. So it's almost like you were going on the path of doing the things that you needed to do and inviting that natural flow in, but because you got so excited that you're about to cross the finish line, you're about to reach the top of the mountain, it put up that block, and it's like you stopped taking the action steps or asking the questions that you needed to in order to continue getting yourself up that mountain. Now Spirit's also saying like you can take that leap from where you're at to the top of the mountain, but it's going to come from you pulling your focus back to the present moment, recognizing where you're at, who is around you, the environment you're in, and also tuning into, the inner guidance that you're receiving, because you are receiving that inner guidance. You have the Hierophant here, and working through that energy of what you're intuitively feeling guided to do in order to get yourself there. Now Spirit's also saying that what you're being guided to do to get yourself there and to unblock that flow, it may be a little different than something that you're used to doing. Okay, you may be you're up leveling in some way, and when we go through these phases of up leveling, we have to do things we've never done before. We have to go places we've never done before. We feel things we've never felt before, because it's something completely new to you in that moment. But it doesn't mean that you can't get through it. Okay, and so as you're maneuvering through that new energy, taking those steps that you wouldn't normally take, maybe connecting with new people that you normally wouldn't connect with, just make sure that you're making time to come back to yourself and work through anything that comes up for you internally. Process it, release it, resolve it, and just allow it to flow through you naturally. And eventually, this new space that you're operating in will become a little bit more comfortable, will be more familiar, and it will feel like the problems you're facing now are, just something of the past. You'll just kind of look back at this moment and be like, wow, why did I take so long to just try, to just communicate, to just connect? Because it's gonna open up the floodgates for this financial flow that you're seeking to come in so quickly. But again, it's about removing your focus from that physical aspect of what you are trying to receive, what you're trying to manifest, and just do what you can in this present moment and connect with who you can in your immediate environment, and trust that it's okay to be where you're at in this present moment, because all that good stuff that you're manifesting, you're trying to get to, it's there, it's waiting for you. You have financial flow, you have King of Spring, you've got the Emperor, like it's all there waiting for you. All right, love, so we're going to pull your last cards now. I'm going to use this deck here. I did not check what the name of this deck is, so I will put it in the description down below for you all, but I think it's like the Fairies of the Woods or something. It's a fairy deck as well, since we're working with fairy energy today. All right, there's your last card. So let's see what your messages are from this deck. We have the Spell Singer, cast spells of wonder and delight. Wow, it's a beautiful card. The Spell Singer. And we also have the Woodwife. Yes, trust your inner wisdom. Trust your inner wisdom. Yes. Okay, so some of you too, I'm seeing, because things are not happening for you in the physical in the way that they once used to. This flow has kind of slowed down, and you're wondering why it's slowed down. Some of you could be questioning it with negativity, or like, why is this happening? Just like there's just this heavy load of questioning it and seeking into these feelings of defeat, or those feelings of being blocked, needing to try to overcome something, and again, needing to pull yourself out of focusing on that so heavily, of course. But something you can do here is to offer gratitude and positivity for where you're at right now. Okay, so there's sort of like this energy of reflection coming in. So if you look back at like where you've been versus where you are now, can you look back at that with gratitude and joy and love and peace, and this sense of pride as well for how far you've gotten on this journey? And then knowing that this is just a little hiccup in the road, this is just like a log that you need to clear out of the mountain path in order to continue your trek up there. It's nothing that you can't handle. And you need to start affirming that to yourself too, that you will get through this. And it's about connecting to your intuition and trusting what your intuition's guiding you towards, what it's speaking to you, because you also have the Hierophant, and this is right there on the Hierophant, which is about listening to your inner guidance. And so what I'm being shown here is there's like this inner battle, or not necessarily an inner battle, but there's sort of a struggle of like mind versus heart, and also what you're seeing physically versus what you're feeling intuitively. And so it's almost like a test from the universe, where you're being shown things in the physical that still need your attention, that still need your presence to bring healing to, that need you to bring the energy of your loving light to them. Okay, so there may still be some things that you're holding on to internally that need you to let them know, like, hey, it's okay, we're gonna get through this, we're going to heal from this, we're going to move past this, we're going to resolve it, we're going to reach out to the people we need to in order to get through this and to get things done and to open up that flow once again. Okay, so there could be some shadows that are coming up at this time, and they're just being mirrored to you in the physical, but you're knowing intuitively, internally, that everything's going to be okay and that you're going to get through this. Okay, it's just, again, it's like a matter of mind versus heart, physical versus what you're feeling intuitively, internally. So anytime you feel a little bit overwhelmed with what's being shown to you in the physical, just remember to come back to yourself, come back to your intuition, and listen to that internal guidance that you're receiving from yourself, from your guides, from the fairy friends here, and trust that you have the inner guidance, skills, wisdom, and tools to get yourself through this moment and to open up those floodgates of flow, not just in finances, but in all aspects of life once again. All right, loves, that is it for your reading today. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this reading, pile 1, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you feel called to, you can comment down below letting me know what resonated with you most. I always love to hear from you all in the comments. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I am offering them on my Instagram at this time. So you just have to send me a DM on Instagram at selfunity, and we can set one up for you. All right, loves, that's it for today, though. I'm sending you love. Until next time, bye. Hello, pile 2. Welcome into your reading, loves. So for your reading, if you're drawn to pile 2, you selected the Miracle Healing or the Snowflake Obsidian Crystal. So let's go ahead and jump right into your reading. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards from the Healing with the Fairies Oracle deck just to see what our themes are, and just to get some more messages of guidance, to see what the basis of your reading is going to be for today, and these messages that the fairies want to share with us. And then afterwards, I will pull some fairy tarot cards to get more insight and guidance on what messages the fairies want to share with you today, pile 2. All right, so we've got that card. Let's get one more. Miracle healing. There's definitely going to be a miracle healing taking place for you in some area of your life. Wow, be honest with yourself. Yeah, I was going to say it feels like it's in this area of your life that you have been asking for. All right, but let's see what else we have. Wow, letting go. Letting go. Wow, beautiful cards. Powerful message coming through here. Yeah, so there's some area of your life that you have been asking to receive some type of miracle healing, but I'm almost seeing like a hyper focusing on this thing that you're wanting healing towards. And there's actually this message coming through where what you're asking for, it almost feels like you're asking to receive something, but in order for you to receive that, something needs to be transmuted or shifted within. And for some of you, there's going to be this energy of like needing to release something, needing to let go of something, okay? And this is going to be different for everyone because this is a general reading, public reading, many people tuning in. But what's coming through specifically, one, this is going to be around relationships, okay? So somebody could be trying to call in some type of healing around a specific relationship in your life, maybe hoping for somebody to make changes in their life, and what's needing to be seen or received is, I'm getting one of two things. One, maybe needing to let go of that connection. Maybe that person is incapable of hearing what you've been asking of them and they're unable to make those changes, and that person is not for you. The other thing that I'm seeing here is they could be serving as a sort of like a mirror to you, and you're needing to turn it around and ask yourself how you can make the changes that you're asking this other person to make in your own life. Okay, so whatever you're asking of others, how can you ask yourself that and apply those changes or those aspects to your own life? And this is naturally going to bring in that miracle healing, those things you've been asking to receive to come into your life, okay? So that was a very specific message coming through. Let's see if there's anything else coming through with these here. There's also like Spirit's just saying like what you're asking for, it's not what you actually want, is what I'm seeing here. And so when we receive messages of guidance like that, a lot of the times it's because there's something that you're asking for that's very physical based, but it's not it's not the physical thing that's going to gift you what you actually want. Okay, so an example is like when you're asking for money, it's not actually money that you want, it's usually safety. You usually want more safety, more security. When you're asking for a partnership or relationship, it's not actually the physical person that you're wanting, it's the love, it's the care, it's the attention. Okay, and so with that being said too, Spirit's also asking, how can you provide those things for yourself in this moment? How can you remove the idea of wanting that physical thing from your mindset and bring in the underlying spiritual, emotional, or mental aspect of what it will actually provide you? How can you provide that to yourself right now? Okay, loves. And then also with this letting go card here, some of you have just been trying to manifest something, trying to receive something, trying to make something work that's just not working, that's just not coming in. And your guidance is to let it go. Let it go for now. If it's meant to be, it will come back to you, as cliche as that sounds. It's true. It's so true. If it's meant to be, it will come back for you. It will come to you naturally and in the divine's perfect timing. Okay, loves. So if you're working so hard, been putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into manifestation practices, or actually taking action steps, trying to get something to work that's just not budging, that's just not working, let it go. You can come back around to it at a later time, or you can just give it space to breathe, let it go. Trust that the universe has heard your request. Trust that this thing has, you've put in all the time, energy, attention to making it work that you can, and now you have to just let it go. You have to surrender it, let it do its thing on its own. And then if you feel called, you can come back around to it in the future. Or if you're doing the manifestation work, let it go, surrender it to the universe, and trust that if it's meant to be, you will receive it again in the divine's perfect timing. All right, let's see if anything else comes through here. I'm also feeling here with the yellows. This is definitely going to be representing our solar plexus chakra here. And so there's also this message coming in around your power, needing to reclaim your power. I see that you've really been focusing so much on things that are outside of you in the external, and you're really needing to call your power back into yourself and to tune in to yourself and ask yourself how you can provide yourself with the things you're seeking externally in the physical to come in and fill up your cup. You have to fill your cup up first from within yourself before the physical can mirror that to you, before it can show you in the physical that you have that sense of safety, that you have that love, that you have that care, that attention, that support. You have to give those things to yourself first before they manifest in the physical, or before they align for you in the physical. And when you attach your focus and attention so much on the things and needing the things in the physical to work out for you or to come to you first, you really give your power away. And so there's this need to go within and to call your power back to you and just recognize that you are loved, you are supported, you are worthy, you are abundant, just as you are, without having all those things or all those people or that one specific person meet your every need. You are worthy, loved, cared for, supported, just as you are. In the spiritual, okay, your spirit guides are with you, but also in the physical from yourself. And if you're not feeling that, Spirit's again asking yourself, how can you give those things to yourself in this present moment right now? All right, but let's go ahead and get some more guidance here. Let's pull some more tarot cards so we can go a little deeper. This is a very powerful message coming through for you today, pile 2. So we're going to pull some tarot cards from this deck here. This is the Fairy Tarot. I'm sure I said that like 3 billion times. Alright, so let's see what we've got from the tarot. So I'm really drawn to the dragonfly there. And so for some of you too, I'm seeing that Spirit's guiding you to actually reach out to a close loved one, a family member. So I'm getting another message coming in at the same time here where some of you could be missing a loved one who has passed on to the other side, and this is a very specific message, so this may not resonate with everyone, so just take what resonates here. But I'm seeing that some of you may have recently, or even not so recently, have lost someone who's transitioned to the other side now. And this person is somebody who you used to really connect with when you were going through challenging times, like what you're going through now, when you're trying to receive something or manifest something or call in something, or, it's just someone who you would be able to vent to about the connections in your life, the relationships in your life, but they are no longer with you physically to be able to ask for that guidance, ask for that advice, or just to, kind of gossip with, connect with, in the ways that you used to. And so with that being said, this card wants to come out too, so I will share this in a minute. So what Spirit's saying there to that is, one, they are always with you. They are with you in spirit now. Okay, dragonflies represent our loved ones being with us in spirit form. So anytime you see a dragonfly, or it may not be a dragonfly specifically for you, it could be something that was just significant to them, and so only you and this other person who's passed on will know what that symbolism is. So anytime you see that specific symbol, or a dragonfly, that is your ancestor, that's your loved one who's passed on, coming through and letting you know that you're not alone in this. Now the other message that's coming through, which is kind of bringing me back around to what I was saying to begin with, is there's somebody in your life, like a close family member. I'm really picking up on family member. It could be friend, but really family member, because they are also missing this loved one. Okay, this is somebody who is like loved and cherished by many people in your family. And even if it's been a couple years since they've passed on, there are still moments where, you and other family members really miss this individual and want to connect with them again. What Spirit's saying to that, this is like this is like a shared connection that you have with these other family members that are still with you here in the physical. And so by giving yourself permission, allowing yourself to open up about missing this family member, and then also like opening up to them about what it is that you're going through, will naturally create these new connections for you within your family unit that will help you through this time. But it's also going to create new bonds for you and a new way of connecting with each other, of course, but also with this family member that has passed on. So I'm seeing like there are moments that you've had as an individual with this family member who's passed on that nobody else in your family knows about. And then there are, you know, like say this is a grandparent, and you're like the grandchild. So you've had very specific experiences where it's just been you and your grandparent hanging out, nobody else around, and you can share those experiences with like say an uncle, okay? And then you go and you share these experiences with your uncle, and they tell you, wow, I didn't know that about them. But maybe it's like by you sharing that experience, you're giving them guidance or advice that they needed to hear that could be applied to what's happening in their life directly. And then because you open up and share that experience with them, your uncle's going to turn around and share their experiences that they had with this grandparent figure or their, you know, their father, mother, and letting you know the experiences that they had with them. And that's going to be the answer to what it is that you're working through right now. You're gonna be like, wow, I needed to hear that, and I can apply that experience, that guidance, advice to what I'm going through right now. So it's almost like your loved one's way of still communicating with you and offering you guidance and advice for what you're going through right now. And as I close out that message, that was such a beautiful, unique message that I have never received before. So I absolutely love that, and I'm very grateful for that message. So thank you for being here with me to receive that pile too. Very powerful message coming through there from a loved one. Ooh, okay. It's like giving me chills there. Okay, I love when messages come through like that. So let's see what your tarot cards are now. So we have 9 of Summer, wishes come true, dreams fulfilled, a magical time of life. Yes. Yes, okay, we love that there. We have 7, the Chariot. So I'm going to uncover all your tarot and then we'll get into the messages here. It's so hard to like pivot after getting that big download that came through, but we're sticking with it. We have success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments, being in the spotlight. Wow, these are powerful messages here. We also have 2 of Spring, a bright future manifested through hard work and creativity, partnering with others who share your dreams, great progress being made. Okay, wow. And then we have 2, the High Priestess, trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking action, insights that come through meditation. And let's see what this card was. This kept like sliding off the top. Wow. Wow, you have 3 major arcana. I'm going to have to slide these down so we can fit it in. So 3, the Empress, time to take action, the power of creativity the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. Okay, you have 2 cards with the word success on it. So whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, trying to receive, it is meant to be. It will come to be. Now, how it comes to be, when it comes to be, is really what you need to let go of, is what you need to surrender. And you need to bring your focus again back to yourself, tuning in with yourself and asking yourself how you can give yourself that love, care, attention, and support that you're seeking from this physical thing or this relationship that you're hoping to receive from it in return. Okay, so how can you give it to yourself? Now with these tarot cards too, Spirit's actually bringing in a bit of a different message here, where there's almost like something that you're trying to achieve that's very much connected to a dream. So this could be a creative passion, maybe like a business, maybe a specific like dream job, dream career. Okay, so some of you could be on the path to achieving this dream of yours. So like it's very much connected to like career and creativity. Okay, maybe even spirituality too. Maybe some of you are spiritual healers here. And you also are on the path to achieving these dreams. Okay, you are definitely very spiritual, very intuitive, because you have the High Priestess and the Empress. And there's message coming through around needing to almost like combine the two, where you're really needing to tap in to your own intuitive healing capabilities and connect it to your creative passions. And like channel it into your creative passions, okay, or into your career, okay, because for some of you it's not you may not have like these creative passions that you're wanting to have develop into like this dream state of being. For some of you it's like very career focused too, where you're wanting to like get to a certain point in your career and you're taking those steps to work towards it. And then for some of you it's like you have these creative passions such as like music, drawing, painting, I keep hearing like singing, music, maybe even writing, but like singing and playing music is coming up very strongly. And you're needing to kind of merge the two around your very beautiful spiritual gifts and your creative expressions, your creative passions. And then again, for some of you, it's like career, where you're trying to get to a specific point in your career and you're working towards that. All right, let's see if anything else comes through. So Spirit just wanted me to share that there's not much else coming through with that. We took like a big pivot from these cards here to these. This is more like the physical. We're getting really into the physical and what's actually happening for you in the present moment. And then what we shared here is like sort of like what's happening behind the scenes and where you need to call that energy back into yourself and in being honest with yourself about what's actually happening internally and what it is that you are actually asking for. Again, with this Two of Spring here too, and a little bit with the Nine of Summer here, there's like some type of collaboration that needs to happen. There's somebody that's on your mind that you're wanting to connect with or needing to connect with, feeling called to connect with, but you may not be connecting with them, or maybe you feel like you're just not connecting in the right ways, like things are not aligning for you. And the way that you're going to allow yourself to get on the same vibe and to be aligned once again is through coming back to yourself and being honest with yourself and asking yourself the part that you play in creating this sort of misalignment in this connection, okay? Because it's not just on the other person and it's not just on you, but by taking responsibility for the part that you play in this connection will naturally help the other person to also take responsibility, and you'll be able to come together and work in unity once again. Okay, Spirit's like saying focus on yourself here. Focus on yourself. What is it that you want for yourself, not what is it that you want for somebody else, because it's about you. All right, so we're going to talk about the numerology here. So we have sevens. I'm really drawn to the sevens, so you may be seeing sevens. I also have 222 on my clock right now, and we have the Two of Spring and the High Priestess there, so you may also be seeing sequences of twos, which again is lending to collaboration, communication with another person, another being. And then sevens is about alignment, being on the right path. So you are on the right path. Okay, you're on the right path when it comes to like what's happening in the physical. Okay, it's just that sometimes you may get a little hung up on what's happening in the physical, that it creates these delays because you get really focused on like wanting things to always run very smoothly in the physical, or wanting them to happen like really quickly. And then also there's like that confusion that we talked about, where it's like what you're asking for in the physical may not be what you're actually wanting on a core, on a soul level, where it's like you're asking for the money, but you really want safety. You're asking for the partnership, but you really want love. And those are things that you have to be able to give and provide and recognize already exist within you. All right, so one last message coming through, I'm really drawn to the Nine of Summer here, is about dreams. So one, Spirit's saying like a wish is going to be granted for you. I mean, you have Nine of Summer, which is about wishes coming true, like it says. And you also have the miracle healing here. You have the Empress, the High Priestess, which is about magic happening, things coming to you in very magical ways. And so there, again, is this need to surrender, to let go, and let the universe take care of things for you. You don't have to force it all to work for you. But with the Dreams card too, so you may be having very vivid dreams or receiving insight, answers, messages within your dream. So pay attention to any synchronicities or symbols that come to you when you're in your dream state. Also pay attention to like your thoughts when you're daydreaming. What are you daydreaming about? There could be signs and messages in that as well. Okay, love, so I'm going to pull your last two cards from this deck here. I think this is the Fairy of the Woods or something. I'm not quite sure the name of it, but I will put it in the description box down below, and it is a fairy deck, of course. All right, so we have the Spirit Familiar. Wow, look at this. Seek loving connections and cherish friendships. Yeah, you're needing to get connected with someone in your life, or the messages that we talked about are very heavily connected to relationships, which I'm realizing, like, right with just these three cards, I was talking about relationship examples there. So relationships are coming through so strong. And then we have the Soothsayer. Travel the road seldom taken. Travel the road seldom taken. Yes. Okay, so I feel here that some of the challenges that you're facing with this other person, this partnership, this relationship, or maybe multiple people, is because you're on a very unique path. Okay, you have very specific vision, very specific goals for yourself and what you want to have happen in your life. And this other person or people may not quite understand it, because you're really, like, you're on this path that is less traveled, nobody has really traversed this path in the way that you are traversing it. And so it can be very challenging to get people to see the value or the worth, or to give you the support, to give you the love and care that you need as you maneuver through this path. But because it's like what's being shown to you in the physical and what's being shown to them in the physical, it's not the same as what you're feeling internally about this path. But you have the High Priestess and the Empress here, and you also have the Chariot, which is a sign to keep going, keep working this path for yourself. If it feels right to you intuitively, internally, then this is the path that you're meant to be on, and you can trust that. And that miracle healing, those energetic, intuitive feelings that you have been tapping into and feeling around, like how close you are to receiving that physical manifestation, or that sort of proof and validation that you're seeking in the physical, it's like right around the corner. But again, don't forget what we said around needing to get that to yourself first. You don't need that physical validation. It comes from within you. You have to validate yourself internally, and just know that you are worthy, you are loved, you are supported, you are cared for, without having any of that physical stuff come to light. And you don't need the validation from the connections around you. You can give it to yourself first. Okay, so just again, Spirit saying, just reflect on those questions we had around, where you're asking somebody else to change. Where can you ask yourself to change in those ways? All right, let's see if anything else comes up here. But you're so close to breaching that finish line, to receiving the miracle healing, to receiving the manifestation, to receiving some type of wish come true. You just need to let go, and again, come back to yourself, to your center, and reframe how you're viewing the situation. But keep taking those steps that you're taking, because you're so close. And once these physical things start manifesting, this person's going to come back around and say, wow, you told me. It's like you'll be able to say, I told you so. You probably won't, but they will just say, like, wow, you told me, like, you knew this is it. And it may also, I'm getting this message, like, it may also create this energy where they never doubt you again. So yes, wow. So trust, let go, surrender, come back to self, and reframe, and keep going. Those are your messages for today, love. Your messages from the Sweet Fairy Guides. Also, though, we have this bunny rabbit here. Last message Spirit wants me to touch on. So bunnies may be significant to you. They also represent fertility and creativity, creative passions, like we talked about here. So that's going to be significant for someone. All right, loves, that's it for your messages today. Woo, we went a little bit over time. We did have that extra card, though, and that beautiful, powerful message from our passed on loved ones and ancestors coming through. So I thank you for hanging out with me a little bit over time for your reading today, pile 2. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next reading. If you enjoyed this reading and you want to share a comment down below as to what messages resonated with you most, I love to hear from you all in the comments. And lastly, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I am booking personal readings at this time. You just have to send me a DM on Instagram at selfunity and we can set one up for you. All right, loves, that's it for your reading today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending you love. Until next time, bye, loves. Hello, loves. Welcome into your reading, pile 3. So if you selected pile 3, you chose this card here, honoring your true feelings, or the beautiful purple Charoite, as we are assuming it to be. All right, so for your reading today, we're just going to jump right in. We're going to pull 2 more cards from the Healing with the Fairies Oracle just to get a full overlook of what your general themes are and to see what messages of guidance the fairies want to share with you today. So let me just shuffle this a couple times and then we'll pull your 2 other theme cards. So we got one coming out there. And there we go, detoxification. Wow. Yeah, this is right in alignment with each other. Let's see what your 3rd card is here before we get into the messages. And vacation. Wow, okay. Wow, okay, so very synchronistic cards here. Let me just feel into it and see where Spirit wants me to start. So I'm definitely feeling as though you're experiencing heavy emotions, feelings, but you are not allowing them to be expressed. Okay, you're not honoring them and you're kind of holding on to them. That's why we have this detox card here, and we also have the vacation card, because it's in the moments where we pull away and take a vacation from the things that we are focused on a daily basis is when we can come back into ourselves and really tap in and feel out how we're truly feeling, okay? And so I feel too that there's something that you're sort of avoiding when it comes to these emotions or feelings or thoughts that you're having. And it's because it could be time for a change, okay? There could be this need to make some changes in your daily patterns, your daily habits, maybe within your job, your career, your family unit, your relationships. There's just something very specific that you're giving your energy to every day, and you're using it as an excuse to not make time to give back to yourself every day, because there are heavy emotions that are being brought up in relation to this thing that you're giving your energy to every day. When you allow yourself to pull away from it, it's like it's almost like having those rose-colored glasses on, and then when you pull away from being enmeshed with this person, this place, this thing, this habit, this pattern, you're able to see the truth of what it is that you're actually allowing yourself to interact with daily. And it may not be something that is really supporting you or honoring you or giving back to you as much as you're giving to it. Now, with that being said too, Spirit's saying that it doesn't mean that you have to completely pull away from this thing, person, place, or thing, or habits that you are needing to take time away from. It just means that there are emotions that are connected to this aspect of your life that you're not allowing yourself to process. And when you do allow yourself to go within and process the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions, the energy that's attached to this thing that you're giving your energy to daily, you'll be able to better see what actually needs to happen, what type of change actually needs to be initiated when it comes to this person, place, thing, or habit that you're giving your energy to every single day, but you really are needing a vacation away from this person, from this thing, your job, your work, your children, some type of habit that you've just maybe taken on that you weren't really conscious or aware of that you were taking on. You know, maybe it's like something that you have just kind of subconsciously learned from somebody, you know, like somebody close to you started doing something, so you started doing it, and you haven't really taken a moment to pull away and ask yourself if it's something that you actually want to be doing every day. And so just things like that, where you're just needing to really reflect on where you're giving your energy, time, and attention to every single day, and where it's serving you, or how it's serving you, or how it's not serving you, how it may be sort of hurting you in a way, because you're not allowing yourself time and space to process any emotions or thoughts that are connected to those aspects and practices. All right, though, so I'm also like feeling super intense energy in my throat chakra. And so this is a sign around needing to speak your truth in some way. But for some of you, I'm seeing like you're not aware quite yet of what your truth is. It's like you're pushing it down, pushing it away, not wanting to face it. But we have a lot of purples here too, which is signifying the third eye chakra there. And so Spirit's saying too that there's something that you're seeing like the truth of. We even have the word true there. Yeah, there's something you're seeing the truth of, but it's almost like you don't want to be seeing it, so you're not speaking up about it. You're not asking the questions of if it's possible or not. But Spirit's saying your intuition is right on, and you know, you can always trust your intuition above all. Yes, and just honor your truth, the truth of what you're seeing. We also have the purple stone here, which is like third eye intuition. Your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, they are speaking to you, and they're letting you know the truth of what's going on beneath the surface here when it comes to yourself and the part you play and what it is you're interacting with and connecting with daily, whether it's that person, place, thing, or habit. It's just like it's almost like you're giving the power away to the other thing and letting them take precedence over what you are intuitively feeling and thinking. And so when you take time to pull away and come back into yourself and to process what you're actually feeling and thinking, you can come back to this energy space that you connect with daily and show up with a renewed sense of strength and confidence in what you're actually seeing, okay? And that was definitely your throat chakra there being activated, because, you know, as soon as I call it out, if it's like meant for the message, like for the seeker, you know, that I'm sharing the message with, it clears up, and it has cleared up. So that was definitely a sign for you to do some throat chakra activation, throat chakra healing, and to express your truth outwardly. And if you can't speak it yet, write it out. Okay, so we're going to pull your tarot cards now from the Fairy Tarot. Let's see what your tarot cards are here today, loves. This will just get us some further insight on your reading. We'll take those. Let's get one more. I think it's... no, let's get one. Just one, Spirit. Okay, you're getting two more both times. Alright, so let's see what your tarot is. We have Prince of Autumn, dependable, protective, chivalrous, humorous, cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, and kindness to others. We have the Ten of Spring, ask for help from others, all work and no play, being weighed down by too many responsibilities. Yeah, you're giving your energy away to somebody else, and like allowing them to call the shots. Like you're being, almost like you're being too kind, or what's that word? It's like when people say, like you're so nice, and it's not that you're being nice, it's that you're allowing, people's energy to take precedence over your own and what you're actually feeling and what you're actually thinking. All right, but we'll get more into that. So we also have 11 strength, the grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges, the power of kindness and forgiveness, time to embrace how wonderful you are. Yeah, it's like you're being too kind to others, giving so much of your energy, time, and attention to other people and not giving it back to yourself, which is depleting you. And it's sort of, you're allowing yourself to be put on the back burner and not giving yourself time and space to detox, to process your emotions, to honor your emotions. And so that's why we have this vacation card here, where it's like it's really time for you to take a vacation, to take a day off, to take some time away from the people and spaces that you are giving your time and energy and attention to every single day. And you will be so much better off when you do that, because you'll be honoring the truth of yourself. We still have 19, the sun, plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of a life, 2 major arcana. And then we also have 2 of summer, falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone, forgiveness and the resolution of a problem, don't give up, your relationship can be healed. Okay, yeah, so I'm definitely getting for some of you that this is definitely about a relationship, a partnership, romantic connection. This could also be like a boss to employee connection, where you are the employee and you're just taking a lot of heat from your boss, not allowing yourself the ability to speak up for how you're actually feeling. And then also in a connection where you're in a romantic partnership with somebody, and for some of you, I'm seeing you may actually have children, so maybe like actually a son, multiple sons, could be daughters, but we have the son here. And so it's almost like you're playing the role of like caregiver all the time, and constantly giving to others, giving to your children, giving to your spouse, giving to your boss, but not making that time to give back to yourself, to allow yourself to really process how you're feeling day in and day out. You're not allowing yourself time to detox, to cleanse, to take a bath, to take a shower, just simple self-care needs and self-care practices that really renew your sense of strength and well-being for yourself, not for others, but for yourself. Okay, so I'm really seeing here, like when you have a moment to yourself, it's like you just like rush through it because you are telling yourself that you need to hurry up and get this over with in order to get back to the children or get back to the job. So like for some of you, I'm specifically seeing like, oh, you have like 5 minutes to shower, so you like jump in the shower, wash your body real quick, get out, get dressed, and then like you're back to dealing with the kids. Or maybe you don't get a chance to sleep a lot, so you sleep in late, then you wake up, you got to get ready in like 5 minutes and then go to work. And so you don't really make that time to really be present with yourself when you're tending to yourself and your self-care needs on a physical level first, which is also so much deeper than that, because when you're unable to provide yourself time, care, and attention to your physical needs in a way that's really caring, loving, and supportive, it makes sense that you wouldn't be making that time to give yourself that time, energy, and attention for your emotional well-being as well, or your mental well-being too. And so that's why you're really being guided to take some time away from the people you're interacting with, just a couple hours. If I say that and you cringe, you're just like, I can't leave my children for 5 minutes, it's really important that you try to just take at least a couple hours. But if you can do a weekend trip somewhere, it's really being guided, being recommended, you're really being guided to take a couple days off to tend to yourself, because you are headed for burnout, and we don't want you to go into a space of burnout. We want you to be able to hold yourself and carry yourself through this moment of honoring how you're actually feeling and giving yourself the time and space to to take care of your immediate needs, okay? Because when you allow yourself to do that, you can then return to those relationships, those practices, your work, etc., with a renewed sense of strength, trust in yourself, honor in yourself, this fiery passion here where you can show up with so much more love and so much more gratitude, okay? It's really giving like that energy of you can't fill others up from an empty cup, and you're at that point of being an empty cup, and you need to fill your cup back up, okay? Your children will be okay, your spouse will be okay, the job will be okay, it will all still be there, but you need to make sure that you're okay in this moment and in the next couple days, okay? So try to schedule in some type of vacation if you can. And Spirit's also saying, don't stop there. Okay, don't just take a couple hours away from your work, your family, your relationships, and then say that's good enough. Okay, don't just go on the weekend trip and then say that's good enough, and then, throw yourself back into the same habits you've been embracing and embodying. Try to implement some type of change that allows you to give yourself time at least once a day for 20-30 minutes a day, more if you can, and then at least a couple times a week, maybe a couple hours every other day. Maybe you have one specific day that's just meant for you, or you set aside like a specific day and a couple hours where you just go on a date with yourself. I'm actually being guided to share this practice with you. It's from the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Some of you may be familiar with this. It's a really popular book, but she has a practice in this book called The Artist's Date, and it's where you go on a date with yourself just once a week. Once a week, you go on a date with yourself. And because it's the artist's way, it's really about creativity and going on a date with yourself where you can connect with art in some way. So doing something in an artistic or creative way. But for you, it's just about going on a date with yourself and making time to be with yourself and to tend to your self-care needs. But if you do resonate with the artist aspect, you can do that. So some things that are coming up in connection to the artist way: going to a museum, just going on a nature walk, because we have the detox card here, so this is not in connection to the artist way. Going on like a spa day, getting a massage, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, just going out to lunch with yourself, or maybe like making a picnic for yourself and then going and sitting out in the park by yourself for a couple hours and enjoying your picnic with yourself. Taking your notebook or your phone to record some audio just for yourself, just talking to yourself, processing your feelings with yourself, outside, connecting with nature in some way. Spirit's also bringing up the vacation aspect. If you can't go somewhere like that's far away, book a staycation, book a room at a hotel nearby, stay there for a day. Just something to get away and give yourself time and space to really be with yourself this week. Okay, loves. All right, let's go ahead and pull your last two cards now. So I'm pulling two cards from this fairy deck here. I still do not know the name. I did not check yet, but I believe it's like the wood fairies of the woods. But I will leave the name of this deck in the description box down below if you want to check it out. All right, so let's see what your last two cards are here. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got, She of the Mossy Bray. Not all things are as they seem. Trust in your intuition. Yes, Spirit circling back around to this need to really trust in your intuition and what you're feeling within. And Spirit's going through and saying that if you are not crystal clear on how to give voice to what your intuition is speaking to, that's a big sign that you're needing to still take some time to process this out on your own. And so they're recommending that you write it out and kind of make sense of it with yourself first, okay? But if you feel like something's off, or there's something going on in a relationship or connection, or even like at work, you know, maybe something kind of shady is going on, or you're just not sure. Make sure that you trust in your intuition and you follow the inner guidance that you're receiving from your intuition. But first and foremost, it's about connecting with yourself in order to get to a clear space of knowing exactly what your intuition is speaking to you. We also have the storyteller. Stories are medicine, strengthening and renewing. We have strength again. This is so crazy. We have 2 cards with the word strength on it. Then we have 2 cards with the forgiveness. Okay, forgiveness here. And right here. So 2 cards with forgiveness. Then we have the kindness, kindness, and kindness. Wow, those are just the ones that I'm drawn to too. I'm like, do we have any more repeats? That's amazing. So 222 could be very significant to somebody watching. All right, maybe seeing 2s. We also have the 11s. All right, we also have the 2 right here. All right, so 2s and 11s, or 1s, which also is in alignment with the 10 there and the Prince as well. So lots of synchronicities. You may be seeing signs, synchronicities occurring. This is how the universe is communicating with you and trying to guide you back into yourself, into connecting with your intuition and your true feelings, your true thoughts that you're experiencing. And it's all happening to try to show you just how much you can trust in yourself and your ability to get yourself through anything with yourself, though. Okay, so for some of you, I am feeling with these last 2 cards coming out here that there could be a challenging experience going on in a relationship, and that's why you keep exerting so much of your time, energy, and attention into those physical spaces and not coming back to yourself again, because circling back to what we shared about in the beginning, where you're not wanting to go within and feel those emotions out because it could initiate some type of change in your daily routines, daily habits, or daily connections. So just be aware of that and just know that it's okay. Change is inevitable. And Spirit's also saying that change may not happen in the way that you think it's going to happen. Okay? Because I feel like you're getting this intuitive download or intuitive guide that something is shifting or something is off, something is different, and then your mind kind of comes in and makes all these assumptions about it, but it's not quite yet in alignment with what you're feeling intuitively. So not everything has really played out just yet, and so it's gonna be okay. Okay, it's gonna be okay. And you will get through this moment. And of course, we have the 2 of Summer here too, and we have the forgiveness there. Okay, so forgiveness and kindness. Be kind with yourself, be forgiving to yourself as you work through this time. I do feel too that when a lot of you come back into this space and you take that vacation, you take that time with yourself, it's going to be challenging because there's a lot that you've been putting on the back burner when it comes to yourself. And so make sure that you're giving that kindness, like I said before, you're giving that kindness that you give to others to yourself as you process these deep emotions, these deep thoughts, and truths that are coming up, and to give yourself forgiveness for not making this time and space to be with yourself and to honor how you're really feeling and what you're really going through and processing at this point, okay? And it's okay. It's okay to have thoughts and feelings that may seem a little harsh when it comes to like thoughts and assumptions about others, okay? But just know that you are important too, and you deserve to be taken care of by yourself first and foremost, okay, loves? All right, so that is it for your reading today, pile 3. I thank you so much for tuning in. It's a little heavy here, so definitely take care and time when you're integrating these messages of guidance that came through for you today. All right, but if you enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up on the video, and comment down below if you need a little extra support as you work through this time. You know, I'm always Always love to hear from you and hear how the messages resonated with you. And of course, if you'd like to book a personal reading and get direct support from me on anything that you're working through at this time, you can do so by sending me a DM on Instagram at selfunity, and we can set up a personal reading for you and help you work through this energy that's coming up for you at this time, love. All right, though, I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Thank you for being here today. Until next time, bye, loves. Hello, loves. Welcome into your reading, pile 4. So if you selected pile 4, you chose this card here, Moving Forward Fearlessly, or the beautiful flower Agate. All right, love, so for your reading today, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So we're going to pull 2 more cards from the Healing with the Fairies Oracle deck, just to get some more information on what it is that you're moving forward fearlessly with. All right, this card really wants to come out. Let's see what that is in a minute. Let's get one more. All right, let's see what your 3rd card is. And then also, after we divine these oracle cards here, we're going to pull some tarot cards from the Fairy Tarot as well. All right, let's see what your cards are. Oh, we have Inner Child. All right, so dreams are coming true because you are moving forward with them. Be honest with yourself. Okay, this came out in another pile's reading. I think this came out in pile 2's reading, and we actually got a really beautiful download from some passed on loved ones with that card. Okay, so if that is speaking to you, you know, if maybe you were torn between pile 4 and pile 2, you may want to check out that reading, because I do remember that was a really beautiful, really powerful reading and download that we got from this card specifically too. It was actually placed here in their reading, but it's over here today. So that's just coming through. I usually don't share messages like that, but it was just such a powerful, profound message, and very unique message. So you may want to check that out. Again, only if you felt a little drawn to also pile 2 and 4. You know, maybe you weren't sure which one to listen to. You may want to tune into both of them, but always, you know, trust your intuition first and foremost, above all, when selecting readings to listen to, knowing which messages resonate with you and, of course, in life. All right, but let's see what's coming up here. So I'm feeling for some of you, you're definitely going through a process where parts of your past are coming to the surface. So things that are connected to when you are a child, when you were growing up, are starting to come to the surface. And I feel that these things are intertwined with a dream or passion of yours. Okay, there's also the contrasting side of it as well, where there are things that happened to you when you were a child that may have created these conditioned beliefs, conditioned patterns, habits, or beliefs, beliefs, habits, or thought processes around not pursuing your dreams. Okay, so, you know, maybe you were really passionate about something as a child, but you are now reflecting on that passion of yours and just kind of questioning, why did I stop pursuing that passion? Why did I stop doing that? And you're realizing that it's because, you know, maybe somebody said something to you, or they did something to you, or they just convinced you that, you know, nothing would ever come of that. And you're starting to unravel those lies, those conditioned beliefs that were sort of inflicted on you as an innocent child. And you're starting to give your inner child permission to pursue those passions, creative outlets, dreams once again. Okay, and so you're going down this road of needing to really be honest with yourself about what it is that you actually want to pursue and how you can move forward with this with a sense of fearlessness and not holding on to those conditioned beliefs, thought patterns, habits that were implicated on you from other people, other peers, adults, and you know, situations like that. So you're really going through this deep processing of inner child healing and release and also a sort of renewal of calling back, like calling your power back to you, calling that inner child to you, to provide them with the love, care, and attention that they need to be able to pursue this passion of yours once again, with that sense of fearlessness and honesty and trust and surrender. So your message is very straightforward there. Let's see if anything else comes through. So Spirit has been guiding me. The fairies are very much connected with the chakra system today, because they keep mentioning all the chakra colors here. So we have blue for the throat chakra, we've got the purple third eye, and then we have the solar plexus here, which is, it's the symbolism of that is actually perfectly in connection with your message that we just shared, because the solar plexus chakra is about your power center. Okay, and then we've got the third eye, which is about being able to see things clearly. It's about your intuition, and the throat chakra, which is about expression. All right, and so you are tapping back in to your intuitive power and bringing awareness to those gifts, abilities, passions of yours, and allowing yourself to express them outwardly once again. Very powerful message coming through here. I'm also seeing just some like random messages coming through right now, where you may be finding some like old objects that you haven't seen in years, something that you used to cherish as a child coming back around to you. This can be connected to your passion, your dream. This could also just be connected to, you know, just being a child, and it's just reminding you of your childhood, and it's like giving a sense of nostalgia when you find it. And it's kind of sending you back into that space of being a child again, and really reflecting on why you stopped connecting with like your play items, your toys, your, you know, your little treasures that you would find as a kid. You know, it's something very specific, something that you loved, and you're gonna find a lot of, for some of you, you're going to find a lot of joy in finding this new item. And then for some of you, it may bring up some more challenging emotions, because it's reminding you of where, you know, people may have shut you down. But you're finding this object to either, one, renew that sense of joy and that childlike wonder once again, or you're finding it, if you're resonating with finding this object and being met with emotions of resistance or pain, so that way you can bring healing to those emotions and thoughts. Okay, so two different messages there. Take what resonates when you find that object, and just be gentle with yourself, be honest with yourself, and just know that now you are in a different space than you were when you were a child, and now you get to be there for your childhood self. Okay, so this is a really big reading on inner child healing here. So some of you may also want to do a little bit of research on inner child healing, maybe find some practices online. There's tons of practices and like journal prompts that you can work through online as well. There's also like inner child meditations on YouTube that you can follow, and this will help to bring some clarity and guidance back around to you. All right, we also have the dragonfly here, which symbolizes ancestors, which again, it's bringing up that message we got from Pile 2's reading was so powerful. Yes, but they're in your reading, they're just wanting to point out the significance of the dragonfly. And I feel here too, it's like you're going through this reversal of swords, where you're recognizing that when you were a child, there could have been leaders, adults who were supposed to be like, you know, an adult in your life. They were supposed to take care of you. They were supposed to honor you, be honest with you, support you, provide you with love and a sense of safety. And maybe you didn't receive those things in the way that you needed them. And so now you're going through this inner child healing process to be able to show up as that adult in your life now, and to give that love, care, attention, support, trust, sense of safety back to yourself and your inner child self. All right, so that's what the dragonfly medicine wanted to bring forth for you today, loves. All right, so we're going to pull some cards from the Fairy Tarot now, just to get some more guidance and see what else the fairies want to share with us today. I'm also seeing rabbits. So rabbits can be significant to somebody. And rabbits, they actually represent fertility and creativity, which can symbolize children as well. So some of you may also have children who are like initiating this inner child healing within you, because you're remembering ways in which you may not have been supported in your childhood dreams or passions or creative outlets or expressions, and you're hoping to shift that paradigm and to provide your own children with that sense of safety, love, and care. And in return, you're kind of doing this inner child healing work alongside providing those things to your actual children. Okay. All right. Well, we have 2 of summer, falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone, forgiveness, and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. This is about yourself, the connection you feel with yourself. We also have 7, the Chariot. This is also about moving forward. So somebody could be moving. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments, being in the spotlight. All right, let's see what else we have. Wow, for the Emperor. I think this came out in pile 2's reading as well. It may have been pile 1, but I think it was pile 2. Use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organized, a firm but compassionate leader. All right, let's see what your last card is. Wow, you have 3 major arcana. 17, the Star. Look to the future with hope and optimism. The power of faith to move mountains. Happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. Okay. Wow. Okay, so right away with this Chariot here and then moving forward fiercely, somebody is like physically making a move. You're moving houses, moving jobs, moving careers. And for some of you, this is going to be connected to like a childhood home. So some of you, there's many different messages coming in, like many different possibilities, because this is a general reading. So again, take what resonates. But for some of you, you could be like moving away from your childhood home, or like the town that you grew up in, the city you grew up in, and moving to a whole new space. Okay, so maybe you have always been in the same place your whole life, but your childhood dream was to like move to the big city, or move across country, or move to a completely different country, and you're finally taking that leap of faith and moving out of the place that you've always been in. Okay, so that's one message coming through there. Another one that I'm getting is that for some of you, you could be moving back. So maybe you've already moved away from, I know it says forward, but for some of you, it's like you're moving back to a space that you left that's connected to where you once resided or lived as a child. And you may not be specifically moving back to the same house or to the same town or city, but you're moving very close by, and you're going to be able to visit places that you once frequented as a child. And it's going to bring up that sense of nostalgia. So like finding those lost items, you're going to be like finding lost memories, having this like initiation of remembrance just overcome you as you move to this new space, which is going to invite in that inner child healing that we've been talking about throughout your reading. Okay, and some of you, I'm seeing like you have children now, and like the way you're raising your children, you're like shifting how you were raised. You're changing the way that you teach them and support them, and in return, it's changing the ways that your inner child was taught and supported. Like you're doing a deep inner healing on yourself through the changes you're making in your like family lineage of how you're parenting your children, teaching them and supporting them as well. And so when you return, so if you resonate with like returning to the space that you once lived in, so for some of you could have children and you're wanting to like move back to a space where like your family lives, maybe you moved away from there, you're wanting to move back to the space where your family lives. You're going to be seeing this place that you once lived, once grew up in, through the new eyes, quote unquote, new eyes of your children, which will bring a deep sense of healing to how you connect with this place and having to move back to it. Because for some of you, you may not really want to move back to this space, but there are reasons, and there's just like reasons that you really need to go there, and so you're being guided to go there, okay? And it's going to initiate this like deep sense of healing and understanding, and new perspective and connection to this place, and that inner child healing that we've been talking about as well. Okay, loves. All right, so let's see what else is coming up here with the Emperor, the Star. Okay, so this is about your dream, your passion here. You have a dream, you have a passion that you want to pursue, and you're being guided to start taking those steps, start implementing the things that you need to implement, those action steps to bring this dream to life. You can do it, okay? I hear that someone just needs to give themselves permission to do this, okay? Like we've been talking a lot about the inner child healing, and part of it is in giving yourself permission to do it and trusting in yourself to provide for the child within the permission they need, that you need, to move forward and take those action steps to move forward fearlessly with this dream of yours, this passion of yours. And so Spirit's also saying to just start practicing it. You know, if you haven't started practicing it, just start practicing it, or, you know, just start connecting with people who are practicing it. You know, just reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm really interested in what you're doing. You're learning more about it. I used to do this as a kid. I used to do this as a child, and I really want to get back into it again. I want to learn more about it. And just start connecting with those people who are doing that, because it will naturally give you the permission that it's safe and okay to also practice those things. And you'll naturally be developing your skill set in it, which will allow you to develop in your sense of confidence, and your sense of passion for this as well, okay? Because when you don't pursue your passions, there can be this hesitancy to want to pursue them. And so when you start dipping your toes in the water, you start connecting with people, talking to people about how they're connecting with this passion. We have 333 on the clock there. You are supported. On the other side, your spirit guides are rooting for you. They're guiding you to just get started and to connect with this path, this passion of yours, okay? They came in and took me out of the message I was sharing there. But yes, once you give yourself permission to just kind of dip your toes in, start connecting with those people, start pursuing this passion, that fire is going to grow, and you're not going to want to stop, okay? You're going to be in that Emperor energy of knowing exactly what it is that you want to do, and just allowing yourself to do it, and allowing yourself to move forward with it and to connect with it every single day. At least every single week, but every single day. All right, let's see if anything else comes through. I think that's it with the tarot here. We do have 2 sevens. All right, so 7s could be significant to somebody. This is also a sign that you're on the right path, alignment that, you know, you're on the right path. All right, we've already got your card there before introducing the deck. So I'm not sure what the name of this deck is. I think it is it's like the Fairy of the Woods or something like that. So it is a fairy deck, but I'll put the name in the description box down below when I get a chance to double check what the name of this is. And these are going to be your last cards, and you actually have an extra one there, so we'll take it. All right, so this one flipped right over the old one. The ancestors call, seek their wisdom. Wow, powerful. I feel like you are definitely an old soul. And so for the old souls tuning in, you may be asking why you have to go through this process. It's because you're an old soul, and you're being guided back to the depths of your truth and your passion and your purpose, and what you came to earth to pursue, to create, and to share with yourself and with others. And so this passion of yours, this dream that your inner child had, it was shut down because it is something that is very unique. It's very original, And we live in a society that cannot always accept originality. It cannot accept weirdness. It cannot accept, passion, really. If you have a passion for something, there's someone out there who's going to say something negative and shut you down. And so you have to build that thick skin and also that trust. There's that, undying trust for yourself, with yourself, to be able to give yourself the love, care, and attention that you need to stand in the strength of your truth, of your passion, of your purpose with complete and utter confidence. So that's why your journey has been a little bit more challenging than maybe, your neighbor next door or the other people around you. And that's why people may have shut you down and put all these conditioned beliefs on you that you're now having to unravel when it comes to trying to align back with your inner child healing, your inner child dream and truths. Okay, but you're going to get there. You're already there. It's just a matter of taking those steps and getting started, once again, with pursuing your passion in a fearless way. All right, we also have the Northwood Fae. Take time for hibernation and healing. Okay. And we have the Troll Fae. Follow the secret signs, as treasures can be found where you least expect them. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so you're definitely seeing signs and synchronicities, okay? And your intuition's speaking to you and it's guiding you. And in your case, because we talked a lot about inner child healing here, follow the treasures that your inner child has left you, that your childhood self has left you. Okay, so those objects that we talked about coming back around, those places that you used to frequent as a child, go to those spaces, connect with those places. Spirit's also bringing up old friends, childhood friends. There may be some messages or insight or memories that they want to share with you. It doesn't mean that you need to connect with them indefinitely, but maybe just reach out and say hi, or maybe you see them when you return to the space that you grew up in as a child, or maybe you're getting ready to move away from this place. Just reach out to some old friends that you haven't connected with since you were a child, and there may be some little nuggets of wisdom that they have to share with you, of memories that you once forgot about, or inspiration that they share with you, or like admiration that they share with you about yourself. Okay, loves. And Spirit's saying here, take your time. There is no rush to this journey. You don't have to have it all figured out tomorrow. Give yourself time, give yourself space. Inner child healing it can be heavy. Okay, it can be heavy. It can be taxing, especially when we're working through the shadow side of that. Okay, so just give yourself time and space to process those emotions, but also give yourself time and space to allow this renewed sense and connection with your passion, with your dream, to really ground. Okay, because you're just returning to it. And so it may take some time for you to feel comfortable with it once again, to feel safe with it once again. And so with that, too, Spirit's saying to take your time with getting familiar with this passion of yours on your own. You don't have to go out and share what you're doing with everyone around you. You can do it just for you, just for now. And then once you feel more confident, more comfortable, more familiar with it, then you can start branching out and sharing this with other people as well. Okay, loves. All right, last message. We have 2 cards here with the Fae. So Fae could actually be somebody's name, or like an animal's name in your life, and so that could be significant to somebody. And then we also have the 1. So ones, you may also be seeing that number a lot, like 1111, make a wish. We also have the star there, so make a wish when you see 1111, or just take a moment to visualize your dreams, what you want to experience moving forward. All right, love. So that is it for your reading today, pile 4. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below what resonated with you most. Let me know what your dreams are if you feel called to, of course, because you might want to keep it close to home right now. But definitely let me know if the reading resonated with you. I love to hear from you all in the comments. All right, loves. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time. Bye.